This week on the News at Rider.
The Film and Media Studies program hosts a horror film symposium.
Comedian Steve Byrne performs in the BLC Theater.
And we take a closer look at the Rider dance team.
All this and more on the News at Rider. Welcome to the News at Rider. I'm Kelly Sousa.
And I'm Jeanette Ernicki. On January 12th, an earthquake devastated Haiti, and over the past few months, people all over the world have been lending helping hands to the people affected by this disaster. Even on Rider's campus, students and staff have worked together to raise money for this cause. Danielle Holmes, with the help of various groups on campus, planned a culminating event entitled Haiti, A New Beginning. Nicole Lawrence attended this event and caught all the action.
The Rider community has provided overwhelming support for the victims of the Haiti earthquake. One graduate student in particular, Danielle Holmes, took the initiative to plan the event that I'm attending tonight. Let's check it out.
The next morning, the wind felt still. Everybody stopped, paused, froze, breathed. As the newspaper man said, Haiti was gone.
I mean, honestly, it was from what happened with the earthquake that occurred right before we came back to school, that all the news and some of my close friends that are Haitian and how it's affected them, whether they're first generation or third generation, they all have a story, and their stories vary on different levels. So I realized, especially for those that are here, they didn't really have any type of outlet. So I tried to figure out what can I do besides raising money to help them have an outlet. And I tried to come up with different forms of expression, because I know some students like to sing, dance, spoken word. So I tried to put it all together and come up with the event.
This trip, January 2010, was my 7th trip to Haiti. And I guess the thing that was compelling for my first trip was hearing about the people of Haiti and how much they needed food and medicine and schools, and I wanted to go and help as I could. I was on a public conveyance coming into Port-au-Prince, seeing the devastation of the earthquake. It was a slow reaction, because as we came into Port-au-Prince, we began to see a wall fallen here, a house there, a roof down, and then as we began to move up the mountain to Delmas and Pensionville, we began to see more and more house collapse, and then more and more bodies on the street, some of which were covered and some of which were not. And my thoughts about the bodies that were not covered was, did everyone in that house, all their family die, and there was no one there to claim or cover that body? Or was that person maybe away from home when the earthquake happened and they were killed and their family members did not know where they were or what had happened to them?
This has been Nicole Lawrence for Run 100.
Leadership is an important quality to have, and if you missed the opportunity to apply for the Leadership Development Program last semester, you are in luck. LDP is now accepting applications for the spring 2010 semester. For those not sure of what LDP is, I caught up with the director of this program. Let's check it out. Do you think you have what it takes to be a leader? Well, if so, you might be interested in learning about the Leadership Development Program. I sat down with Laura Saplaki to get more information about this program that students can join. When asked what exactly the Leadership Development Program is, this is what she had to say.
It's composed of a couple of different elements. One of them is an academic element where they take an LDP 200 Foundations in Leadership class. They also take an Ethics or Multicultural Studies course that the university offers to complete that academic requirement. There's also a lot of experiential and practical hands-on leadership skill training that occurs, and those are done with the leadership skills seminars that we provide. It's a series of 9 3-hour workshops that students do over their time at Rider as a student. And then also we ask them to be involved in co-curricular activities both on and off campus, placing themselves in leadership positions that, again, give them the practical experience to not only learn leadership skills, leadership qualities, and more about themselves personally as leaders, but to actually go out and be a leader. We have an application process both in the fall and in the spring. We actually started a spring application process last year and had 6 new students admitted in the spring, and we're doing the same this spring as well. We actually have them do a couple of essays. We want to know a little bit more about their leadership skills currently, what their views of leadership are. We have them come in for just a short interview so we can meet them and learn a little bit about who they are in person, and then we determine who we choose from there to come into the program. We do quite a few activities. There's the Leadership Development Program, which is comprised of the students within the program, but then there's also the Greater Center for the Development of Leadership Skills, of which I'm the Associate Director. And we do a slew of programs that students across the university can be a part of, in addition to the students that are in the Leadership Development Program. So we've had programs like Excel, which is Excellence in Executive Leadership, where we connect students with top professionals in their field. We also are doing a dinner coming up with political journalism with the Rebovich Center for New Jersey Politics. We do the captain's seminar, the athletic seminars that we do that help the captains and the athletes be better leaders both on and off campus and with their teams. We also recently took a leadership trip to Wawa University, and we met with President and CEO Howard Stokel, who's also on the Board of Trustees here, and the students had a great time learning about leadership at Wawa, taking a tour of the dairy. So we really do try to get students out there and meeting with different people. I think the Leadership Development Program is a great way for students to focus their leadership skills and abilities and actually learn very intentionally how to be a better leader. So the advantages of being in the program are great because it really rounds out the experience. Not only are you learning in the classroom and you're learning, with what you do outside of the classroom, but you're doing it in such a way that's very intentional that you're setting yourself up for a lot of success in the future.
Reporting for Run 100, this has been Kelly Sousa.
As a student on Rutgers campus, there are many clubs, organizations, and teams to be involved in. This week, I took a closer look at the Rider University dance team. Here's more.
Here I am outside the alumni gym, where the dance team is most famous for performing at the basketball games. But when they're not on the court, you can find them practicing in the SRC aerobics room. Let's take a look at what they're working on and what some of the members have to say.
We practice on Sundays from 8 to 11, sometimes 12, and Monday through Thursday, 9 to 11, sometimes 12, sometimes 1.
My favorite thing about dancing is that when we get to perform, we're center of attention.
We have such a great relationship with each other, and we all get along, and we really make practices a lot of fun.
We're doing school events like Relay for Life, and we're also working on our end of the year show. It's on April 18th, and it's like the big show of the year where we all showcase all of our talents and all different kinds of dances and things like that. It's going to be fun.
Stay tuned to the news at Rider to find out how you can get tickets to the dance team show. For Run 100, this has been Jeanette Renicki.
Each week, we take a look at what is up and coming in the fashion world. Here's Samantha Sutton with the trend of the week.
Hi, this is Samantha Sutton with your trend of the week. It's midway through the semester and you may be thinking about getting a summer internship. While guys can basically get away with the slacks, button down, and a tie, girls have to step it up a bit. So I'm here to give you some options as to what you can wear for when you go on an interview or in the office. Option number 1 is the basic, like menswear with a little button down and a blazer, but the pants can be a little more trendy and they can be skinny instead of just having the basic work pants. Another classic look is a basic black skirt, but instead of it being so basic, this is a peplum where it has a top layer, and you can wear it with a tank, which is also, this tank is a tribal print, which is also in for the spring. But if your office is a little strict or you're not too sure about wearing a tank top on an interview, you can put this cardigan over it and it's a colorful cardigan, so the black it's balanced out with just a nice bright color. Another option is a shirt dress, but instead of just having the shirt dress alone, you can put another cardigan over it and belt it, which gives you a cute, trendy look. Here's another option, and some people are a little shy about using color in their wardrobe. So this is a blue pant instead of the basic black or gray. So that is mixing it up a little bit, and you can put this striped cardigan over it. So that is another look you can try. An important thing also is a jacket. Like, you can have a nice bright patterned jacket to wear over your outfit. So, because sometimes it is cold still in the spring or the summer, so that's a good thing to have in your closet, and just a nice basic jacket you can dress up or dress down. For a casual Friday look, you can still keep it classy and wear this just this button down and a nice, like, this is more a cottony kind of blazer, so you can wear that over the button down, and just wear jeans. I wouldn't really recommend wearing ripped jeans if they're too ripped, because that might start to look a little more trashy and not as trendy. But if they do have a little rip in them, you can probably get away with it. Or just another few options you can wear is like a nice little lace skirt. You could pair that with a sweater, or just a nice kind of like long sleeve top, or basically any kind of top you could think of, because it's still like a plain neutral color, but you can just spice it up a bit. Here, these are kind of jean material, but you may be able to get away with them even if your office is a little strict, because it does look just like a nice pinstripe pants, kind of like menswear, which is also big, and they're just a nice little alternative to wearing the basic kind of pants on an interview or in the office. If you're feeling kind of lazy, which we all have those days, this is just a nice dress where it looks like it's two pieces, but it's actually one. And they sell these in many stores. I got this one at JCPenney. You can also just, like, the colorful tights again. You can just spruce up any kind of look with these colorful tights, even if it's just a basic black dress, which is also another good staple to have in your closet. Everyone should have a little black dress. And then there's also another option if you just still want to keep it black and neutral, and you don't want to wear color. These tights actually, I don't know if you could see it, but they have a little bit of a pattern on there instead of just being the basic black tight. Now, for shoe options, you can go with just the basic kind of black heel. This has a little bit of a platform to spice it up a bit. Or you can try to go with a little print on your shoe, on the heel. But if you cannot walk in heels, I do not recommend wearing them. And I feel a lot of people our age, because we haven't had that much time to really learn how to walk in heels, we need other options. So you can just wear your basic flat, and like here, this one has a little bow on it, so it's a little more trendy. And here's just a nice little gray one. And Charlotte Russe, I know, sells a lot of flats. These flats are actually all from Charlotte Russe, so they're pretty cheap there. So if you want, you could just go in there, pick out a nice flat. Even if you're wearing a black outfit, a colorful flat will make an outfit look a little, make you stand out a little bit. So you can do that. Or you can wear just boots. And if you're going to go with an over-the-knee kind of boot, I do not recommend wearing it with skirts, because that will look a little trashy as well. Okay, that's all for now. This is Samantha Sutton for Run 100 with your Trend of the Week.
Recently, Ryder's Westminster campus received permission to build a new parking lot with up to 91 spaces. It took 2 Princeton Regional Planning Board meetings, where Ryder was met with strong opposition from Westminster's neighbors. Concerns range from flooded basements caused by excess runoff to light and noise pollution. Through the challenges, Westminster was granted their request.
Thanks, guys. And continuing to look at the Christie administration, we begin with a follow-up story about the New Jersey Transit fare hikes that were proposed a couple weeks ago. Executive Director James Weinstein, pictured here, said the agency could make a public announcement soon that as many as 2 to 4 trains will be cut from every line, and fares could jump by the largest amount in years. For example, a $5.50 train ride from Hackensack to New York City could eventually cost $7. And many bus riders should also expect to wait 5 to 10 minutes longer to be picked up at stops throughout the state once the cuts take effect by summer. Weinstein said New Jersey Transit has no choice but to ask mass transit users to share the, quote, pain, since the agency is facing a $300 million budget shortfall this year. And an ever-popular topic in the Garden State, New Jersey's property taxes increased by 3.3% last year over 2008, bringing the average homeowner's bill to $7,281 in 2009. For the past 2 years, that's 2008 and 2009, increases have come in under a 4% state-ordered cap, but property taxes still have risen by 70% in the last decade. That's what's making headlines this week in New Jersey politics. Now back to Jeanette and Kelly.
This past Monday, the BLC Theater hosted comedian Steve Byrne. The News at Ryder got the chance to speak with Nick Barbati, the person in charge of planning the event.
I'm Steve Silva for the News at Ryder. I recently sat down and got some reactions to Steve Byrne, the comedian who performed at Ryder Monday, March 1st. Here's what they had to say.
The comedian we picked is Steve Byrne, who is a comedian who has been in Four Christmases, the film, and also performed stand-up on the Jimmy Kimmel Live show and the Jay Leno show. He's a performer that I actually was able to see with some of my students at the NACA conference, which is the National Association for Campus Activities. And he was one of the performers who actually did his whole stand-up routine live for us, and we found him to be absolutely hilarious and thought he was someone who we wanted to bring to campus.
I finished school at Kent State University in Ohio. And I got my folks live in New York City, so I just wanted to come and crash on their couch and spend some time in New York and get a crappy job and just hang out with them for a little bit. And I ended up getting a job at Caroline's Comedy Club, which is on Broadway. I walked into all these restaurants, and I walked in, I'm like, yeah, I'm looking for the job. And the manager's like, oh, we just fired somebody. What do you want to do? I'm like, I'll do anything. He's like, all right, come back tomorrow at noon. So I started working at this comedy club. And I started watching all these young comics at the time. They were young, like Chappelle was just in like The Nutty Professor and Margaret Cho, and a bunch of guys on Saturday Night Live were coming in there, and I just thought, that was like fun. So I worked there for 4 months, and then I tried stand-up for my first time at a club called Stand Up New York on the Upper West Side. And that's how I started getting into stand-up. It just was fun.
I think comedians are always strong on college campuses, particularly ours, because they're great for stress relief. I mean, I think a lot of times we don't really take into account why we have events, but for comedians, I mean, it lets you escape away from schoolwork and work and just the drama of being a college student for about an hour and just have a really great experience. So I think there's going to be a really good response, and I'm really excited for it.
How I get most of my material is I watch Carlos Mencia, and then I just try to make it funnier. No, I'm joking. Before my last special was called Happy Hour, and it was just a bunch of observational stuff. Like, I was talking about, like, if you get in a fight with somebody, I'm going to punch a guy in both his eyes and then his asshole. It's like, who comes, it's just ridiculous. And then this one I just filmed, it's called The Brand Identity because it's about a point of view. I was like, it's all silly stuff, but somebody could come to my show before and not know anything about me. So this time I really wanted to write about what I'm passionate about. And at the same time, I was kind of discovering who I am, because I'm a mixed race, so I never knew, am I Asian, am I Irish, what the hell am I? I couldn't figure it out. So that's what the basis of the new special is. And so I just wrote as much as I could about identity and answering who I am and maybe asking people who you are as well. So that was the basis of it.
For Run 100, this has been Steve Silva.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. I'm Jeanette Renicki.
And I'm Kelly Sousa.
See you next time on the News at Ryder.
Have a great day.